have never liked driving at night. It wasn't the darkness, I could handle that. It was the quiet, the kind of quiet that wrapped around the car, where headlights only showed you what was just ahead, never what waited beyond. But that night, I had no choice. My mother had called earlier in the evening. She was alone at our family home in the countryside, and her voice trembled through the line. Something is wrong here, David. I don't know what it is. I just need you here, she said. That was all it took. I grabbed my keys and headed out by 10:30 p.m. It was a 3-hour drive through winding rural roads. I have driven it dozens of times, but never this late and never alone. My highway had thinned of traffic after first hour. By 12:50 a.m., it was just me, my headlights, and occasional road sign flickering in and out of view, like dying fireflies. I tried turning on radio, but every station buzzed with static, or some faint, grainy country music that sounded like it was playing from under the earth. As I turned onto the road 17, the last stretch before the road to my mother's place, I noticed something odd. There was a car on my shoulder, a black, parked with its hazards blinking. A man stood outside it, waving frantically at me. I slowed down, rolling my window just a crack. You alright? I asked. He looked to be in his 30s, eyes wide. Please, he said. My wife? She's still in the car. I saw something in the woods. It came out of nowhere. We hit a tree and now she won't wake up. I need help. Every warning instinct lit up my chest. I felt wrong, like the way a dream can feel real but off. Still, I couldn't just leave someone stranded. I pulled over about 15 feet ahead of his car and grabbed my flashlight from the glove box. The man followed me back to his car. His hands were shaking. She is there, he said, pointing to the passenger side. I leaned in the open door. The seat was empty. There was no one there, I said, turning back to him. He did not respond. He just smiled and then bolted into the woods. I stood frozen for a moment, my heart pounding in my ears. What the hell had happened? I hurried back to my car, slammed the door and locked it, and I reversed the drive away. I saw something in the rearview mirror, a face pressed against the back window. I turned so fast I nearly twisted my neck, but the seat was empty, the window clear, nothing but shadow behind me. I floored it. The road twisted like a snake, and the darkness around me seemed to deepen, thickening into a kind of fog that headlights barely pierced. I kept checking my mirrors. Nothing but my nerves would not let me relax. It felt like I was being watched. That's when I saw the figure on the side of road. It was a woman at that time, dressed in white, hair long and tangled. She was standing perfectly still, arms at her sides, head slightly tilted. As I passed her, she turned. I swear to God, her face was mine. Not just similar, it was me. Same eyes, same jaw, even the faint scar on the eyebrow from fall of a bike at the age of 12. I did not slow down. I did not look back. The turn onto the gravel road finally came. Relief flooded me, but it was short-lived. That road, always peacefully in daylight, now stretched on endlessly like a tunnel on the oblivion. The trees closed in overhead. The crunch of gravel beneath my tires was the only sound, and even that felt too loud, like it was drawing attention. And then I saw the house, but something was off. It was dark, every window black. My mother always left the porch light on for me, always. I parked flashlight and walked to the front door. It was unlocked. The air inside was cold, not just cool, cold like a cellar. Mom, I called. Silence. I moved through the living room. The furniture was the same, family pictures on the wall, but something was not right. The colors looked faded like an old photograph, and then I saw a clock on the wall in reverse, backward motion. The hairs on my arms stood on end. I called again, louder this time. Mom! A sound came from the upstairs, a soft, dragging shuffle. I hesitated, my legs screamed to run, but I climbed the steps, flashing, trembling in my grip. The hallway at the top was darker than night. The beam of my light seemed to shrink, barely reaching the first floor. That's when I noticed all the doors were slightly open, just a crack from behind one. I heard a whisper. It said my name, David. I turned toward it slowly. David, it sounded like my mother, but off, too slow, too low. I pushed the door open. The room was empty. My old bedroom posters on the wall, bed still made. Then I turned around and saw her at the end of the hall, my mother, except it wasn't. She stood completely still, staring. Her eyes were too wide. Her mouth hung open slightly. Her arms dangled like a dead weight. Mom, I said. She did not respond. I took a step forward and she screamed. It wasn't human. It was a howl, a shriek of thousands of voices in agony. She sprinted at me, face twisting, mouth stretching wider and wider until it was nothing but darkness. I slammed the door shut and bolted it. Her footsteps thundered against the floor as she rammed the door once, twice, then silence. When I opened it again, the hallway was empty. I ran down the stairs, nearly falling over myself. I don't care what was out there, I just needed to get out. But when I opened the front door, the forest had changed. It wasn't the one I drove through. The trees were twisted, enlarged. The sky above wasn't dark, it was red like blood underwater, and path was gone. There was only fog, thick swirling fog. I turned around, the house behind me gone. In its place stood a tall wooden structure, all rotted like a church had been abandoned for centuries. I walked backward, heart hammering, breath shallow, and then I heard it, a voice behind me. David. I spun. Nothing. David. It came again, this time from my left, then my right. I ran. Branches clawed at my face. Roots reached for my feet. The fog and everything shifted like it was alive. Then I saw something in the mist. Figures. Dozens of figures. All still. All facing me. Their faces were mine. Every single one of them like copied mirror. And wept. Some were smiling. Other crying. One bleed from eyes. Another had no mouth at all. I kept running. I don't know how long. Minutes, hours. Eventually the fog cleared and I was on the road again. Back on Country Road 17, my car was there, running, driver's side door open. I staggered in, slammed the door, locked it, cried. When I looked at the clock on the dash, it was 10:30 p.m., exactly the time I would left earlier at night. I drove straight home, not my mother's house but my apartment, 2 cities away. I called her the next morning. She was fine. She said she never called me last night, never said anything was wrong. I checked the call log, no outgoing call, no record of her ever dialing me. It's been 3 weeks. I haven't driven at the night since, but sometimes when I'm alone and lights are off, I see faces in the mirror, my own, and they smile at me.